go over some terminology that we need when we're working with inequalities. The first one we're going to look at is equation. Earlier, Diego, you said something that would help us, or actually, Krista, I'm sorry, I think it was you. What has to be present for it to be called an equation? Say it one more time, Krista. The equal sign has to be present. Does everybody see the equal sign here?
Yes.
So in order for this to be an equation, we're going to see that equal sign. That's a good way of remembering an equation. Different from the equation, Diego, this is what you were thinking about, is an expression. So in an expression, we don't see an equal sign, do we?
No.
So can everybody say equation? Expression. Now within an equation or an expression, we have different terms we have to understand. One of them is a variable. What's another way of saying variable? Diego?
Unknown.
Unknown is another way. So a variable, and it might be an X, it could be a Y, it could be, really you could use any letter, but it's an unknown. That's one of the variable is what we're going to be trying to solve when we have our inequalities. This was the one that we just looked at in our morning work. So when we see we have a number, right, but it's attached to that variable, we're going to call this, and you're all going to say this after me, it's called a coefficient. Can you guys say that after me?
A coefficient.
Coefficient. Excellent. Jessica, try it. Coefficient. So that's that number 2 right there. So this morning you saw that in your morning work. And then finally, this is the one that we've talked about in the past too. Our constant would be that number as part of our expression or our equation. And you'll see it here in the expression. That constant is something that doesn't change, correct? This isn't going to change. Will this change? Will this value change? Will this coefficient and this variable change? They won't? When we solve for this unknown, will the value of this change? Yes, it will. So that's why this one's constant. It's not going to change. But when we solve for our variable, our coefficient will change. Does that make sense? So these are some of the terms that we're going to be working with. I'm going to have these on our math word wall, but I wanted to make sure I went over them with you, okay? Everybody okay with these terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent.